Let's get started. One way we're going to do it is using a personal story. So I used to believe X until one day this happened. And then the truth, that's when I realized that blank, the lesson, right? This is how the myth truth sandwich when you're using a personal story. The next one is, but this sounds something like most people believe blank, and then, but you ever notice how blank, and that's the contradicting example. The truth is blank. So it's either going to be in this format or this format. Every story, not those exact words, but you know what I mean, like that type of prompt. So a lot of the things that you believe, a lot of the opinions you have, a lot of the stories that you have, whatever ideas you have, the best way to clarify that, get clarity on what that actually is through talking to people. And small group is like literally the perfect place to do that. So just by going to your small group, telling your story, even if you don't know where it's going, or talking about your idea, even if it's a wrong idea or whatever it is, just through talking, you're gonna get more clarity. Not everything I say are factually correct. You know what I mean? They're not absolute scientific truth. They're truth to me, and I speak it. When I talk about something like, manipulative marketing and those type of things, the reason why some people resonate with it is because maybe they have similar personality as me. What happened is I just talk about things that are true to me, and what ends up happening is it attracts like-minded people to the community, right? Every one of you can be successful, like wildly successful, not just successful, but like wildly successful, if you know what your personality is. What makes one person successful might be different than what makes this person successful. Yes, they both have to work hard, but to give you an example, like if Steve Jobs were to build a company like Amazon, he would not have been successful. And if Jeff Bezos were trying to build a company like Apple, he would not have been successful. But they are both Apple and Amazon are successful, but in a very different way. It doesn't matter how much what you say, it really matters how you act. Everybody wants to be Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos, which is not possible. The reason why what makes Steve Jobs is that he's the opposite of Jeff Bezos. And what makes Jeff Bezos is that he's the opposite of Steve Jobs, right? So don't try to be both. But Steve Jobs, because he was an innovative person, he wasn't really good in the business side. He had Tim Cook, and Tim Cook was there to kind of balance him out, right? So that's what you actually want to do. You want to double down on your strength and have people around you that can complement your weaknesses, right? When I go to somebody's house whose house is really clean and really neat and organized, I'm like, wow, so cool. Like, it will be, it's cool. I want to be like that too. And then, I could keep my place clean for a couple of weeks, but eventually it's going to get messy again because that's just not me. I'm not like that. I'm not a clean freak. So you just can't fake it. Your actions will ultimately show it. One of the first time I started making content was I wanted to be like Gary Vee. So I hired a videographer to follow me around with the camera, invested in all this equipment, and then put out all these blog posts for like 3 months. And not that those videos didn't get any views. It's because I was trying to be like Gary Vee. Don't try to be like somebody, right? Be the first you. Whatever you are, once you double down completely on that, that's your version of Gary Vee. You know what I mean? All of those people, the reason why they're successful is because they double down on themselves, right? So here's this week's assignment. Start with, what's your weakness? What's your biggest weaknesses? When we do this exercise, a lot of people start saying like, I'm an overthinker. I have imposter syndrome. I'm very insecure about this. The thing is, all of those traits, those are traits that every human in the world has. Pay attention to what do your friends and family say about you. And once you do that, share your biggest weaknesses in your small group meeting and discuss how it can be your biggest strength. As a bonus, I want you to think about how your weakness affects you negatively in your business and what can you do in your business to minimize that. So for example, I always go overboard. So what ends up happening is people would book the free discovery call with me, and then I just end up giving like an hour of free coaching so that they don't actually have to pay me for coaching. You know what I mean? And that's my personality. I can't help it. You get on a call with me, I'm going to feel the need to help you. The process that I had to put in place is I had to stop doing discovery calls and just put a Calendly link where they have to pay with a credit card to book me for a call. So that this way I know that everyone who booked for a call already paid for the session or something like that. Finally, I want to end with this. I want to talk about how, basically everything I said, right? Like what you say, what you think you are is not really you. It's not your real beliefs. It's not the real you. Who you really are shows through actions, right? So if you say you're always on time, but you keep coming in late, then that means you're not always on time. Your actions show who you really are, right? So yeah, so that's kind of like what this quote is all about. And that's what we're trying to figure out this week. Not the biased version of who you think you are, but what does your actions show you are? And that's the reason why I said, ask your mom, ask your best friends, because they know what your actions. They don't know what your thoughts are, but they know your actions, right? Okay, here we go. You're simply not an atheist in your actions. And it is your actions that most accurately reflect your deepest beliefs. Those that are implicit, embedded in your being, underneath your conscious apprehensions, and articulable attitudes and surface level self-knowledge. You can only find out what you actually believe rather than what you think you believe by watching how you act. You simply don't know what you believe before that. You are too complex to understand yourself. Thank you, everyone. It's so great seeing you. As I always say, no matter how this week goes, even if you don't do your assignment, even if you miss your small group meeting, come back next week. Every Sunday we'll get here, we'll get grounded, be clear about our purpose so we can face the week, right? Starting Monday, we can go out there and face the world. So always come back, and I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great week, everyone. What are your small group meetings? Thank you. Bye. Bye, Sabrina.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye, Gavin. Bye, Rob.
Ciao.
Bye, Samrin. Bye, Michael. Bye, Lucas.